Okay, so let's just walk through the process of creating a PRG alias, which C64 OS can then launch from the desktop. So first I'll list a directory of partitions. So I've got games partition 4, and I have a bunch of games. Here I have this itch.io directory, so we'll go in there. And here we have, say, Lala Prologue. Now, I'm going to test loading Lala Prologue, like that, to see with a list if it contains a basic loader, and it does contain a basic loader. Now also, because it's only one file, I'm going to assume that it's not going to have any issues sharing the bus or what device it's on, because it's only one file. I also happen to know that it uses joystick port 2 because I've played the game before. Okay, so Lala Prologue, itch.io is the path, partition 4. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our partition 1, and I'm going to switch into my OS PRG aliases directory, where I have these PRG alias files to various other games. So this new tool that I've created is in OS C64 tools, and it is make PRG alias. Okay, so here's what it asks us. Source device. So we can pick a source device, 8 to 30. So it's going to be device 8. Now launch device, this is useful for if the source device was, say, 12, but the launch device is 8, it would do a swap at runtime. This doesn't need a swap, but we're just going to say the launch device is okay to be 8. Now, does the device have partitions? Yes, it does. Which partition is it in? It's in partition 4, my games partition. Now, does it support a basic loader? We tested that. Yes, it does. Does it share the IEC bus? Well, it's a one-filer, so in this case, yes. Does it support joystick in port 1? No. Does it support joystick in port 2? Yes. Now, mounting options. So these PRG aliases support auto-mounting a disk image or assigning a swap list, both of which are only supported on SD to IEC. In this case, it's just a plain file. Now, what is the path to the plain file? That would be in partition 4. So we're going to put in here a fully qualified absolute path. So we'll say itch.io with the trailing slash. Name of the boot file, la prologue. Hope I spelled that right. Now that's the name of the actual file that it's going to load. This file could, in theory, be inside a disk image, for example. Okay. Now the name of the PRG alias, this is how it's going to look in C64 OS. So I'm going to make this a little bit nicer with spaces. Actually, I think it was like that. I think the game spells itself that way inside. Okay, so now we'll hit that, and that has just created this PRG alias file that has captured all the information that I just took in the program. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the OS desktop directory. Be this guy here, and we're going to add this PRG alias to desktop 4, which is my games desktop. So to do that, I'm going to use another utility, which I've just called make alias. What did I call it? So we'll list the contents of our tools directory. Oh, Alias Creator. My bad. OS, C64 tools, Alias Creator. So now this says, okay, on which desktop do you want to create an alias? I want it to be that one. Name of the alias will be la prologue. And finally, what kind of an alias is this? Is this to a C64 OS application? Is it to a service application? That's a built-in application. Is it to a C64 OS utility, or is it a PRG alias? Well, in this case, it's a PRG alias that I just created. So we'll say that it's a PRG alias. Now, if we actually go into desktop 4 and we list the contents, we see we have this desktop alias in desktop 4. So now I'm going to boot into C64 OS. I'm going to go into the app launcher by default. And I left them on desktop 4. And so here is the new alias that we created. We can give it a color if we wanted to give it a color. Maybe light blue, just like the others. Okay. And so now I will. So now these are all the aliases that I can run, and no matter what they are, this one needs to mount a disk image. Some of them need to switch devices, but they all can be run simply by double-clicking on the alias on the desktop. So I'll run this. Gives us a little summary, the name of the alias. The device is 8, partition 4, path, which we typed in, port 2, which is what I have right here, port 2. So I'll just say run. And bingo bango. There we have, and now from our port 2, we'll hit the button and we're in the game. Pretty cool, right?